Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Good morning, Donna. How are
Good morning,
you?
Sifu. I am great. It is sunshiny here and warming up, so I am happy about that.
I like the warming up part.
Yes.
I'm in New York, so it's still kind of cold for me,
I'm
but
in Michigan, so just a little bit above you or over a little
and
bit, and so it's
probably
very close.
colder.
Yeah.
Probably colder.
It's 34 today, but it's
Mm,
warming up.
there you go.
I'm calling it so.
I love that. I love that. I love our topic today on spiritual intelligence. I called it in a chaotic world because we need that. And we were talking earlier about how many people lack spiritual intelligence.
Mhm.
And I'd love for the tips that you're going to share with us on how we can maybe even reclaim it.
Sure. It is something that we don't often think about, or I don't even think we talk about enough. At least I didn't in most of my life. It wasn't, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a Christian. And so that's always been a part of my life. Faith has always been, as far back as, teenage years as I can remember, faith was part of my life, but we don't often think about what do we mean by spiritual intelligence. And it's living from understanding that we are creating with our thoughts, with our words, with our beliefs. And it comes from the unseen into the world. But most of the time, I spent my time fighting circumstances
Mm.
and wishing that the circumstances would change, or if I just would get lucky or be blessed or meet the right person, or things would start to go my way. And I had a general feeling that life was hard because it had been.
Mm.
But because I keep thinking that it is, I keep getting more of it. And I don't want it.
I
Uh,
always say that when you keep thinking about something, it just becomes it, right? So
yes.
I agree with you that if we continue thinking on negativity or this keeps happening to me, this keeps happening to me,
Right.
it's going to continue, right? So it's that rhythm that we're creating as well.
Well, as you think in your heart, so are you. And whether we like that statement or not, it is true. A lot of times the truths we're not, I don't really like that one. But it doesn't change the fact. I heard a story of a man, and this it is not, of course, a true story, but a man went into a bank and he wanted to cash a check, and it wasn't his bank. And so someone had written him a check, and so he took it up to the teller and he said, "I want to cash this check." She goes, "Well, you have to endorse it." He said, "I don't want to endorse it. If I endorse it and hand it to you, maybe you won't give me my money." She's like, "But it doesn't work that way. You have to endorse it." "Well, I'm going to go to another bank." So he went to another one. Same thing happened. Went to another one. And the same story happening. And the woman took something and hit him upside the head, the teller did, and said, "Sign the check. I'll give you the money." And so he signs it and she gives him the money. And he goes back to the first teller and said, "I got my money." "Well, did you endorse it?" And he said, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, why did you endorse it for her, that teller, and not me?" And she said, "Well, they explained it to me in a way I understood."
Mm.
So he got hit upside the head. And life can do that. It's like all of a sudden we begin to get it when it seems to hit us upside the head. And I love the statement that you talked about, a chaotic world, because a lot of times we think when we feel shaky, like we're
Mm.
in some turbulence. And I think a majority of the people listening would say that there's some kind of turbulence in their life. And a lot of times we look at that as bad. But turbulence can, or shakiness can mean growth. Something's changing. And that doesn't always mean that it's bad, unless we want to label it and begin to think it's bad. And then it doesn't turn out well for us. One of my favorite statements is everything works out for my good. I have said it when I have not a clue how this is going to work out for my good. But that is one of my life values
Mm.
that I run my life and conduct myself from is everything will
Yeah.
work for my good. And when that's the case, when you believe that,
Mm.
receive it.
Oh, wow. It makes a difference, I believe, when we think that way, right? When we put energy behind our words, when we put energy with what's in our heart. And I
Mhm.
love the fact that you talked about before that you're a Christian, and so am I, and how even that energy right there helps you because so many times people expect someone else to take care of you,
Yes.
but you're not willing to take care of you.
Yeah.
So
There.
how does somebody start to change the narrative that they keep speaking to themselves?
Well, faith doesn't have to start small. Or doesn't have to start big. I mean, it can start very small. And the very first thing that when I work with my clients is what do you want instead?
Mm.
And it would think that that is a simple question. What do you desire?
Right.
What do you want your life to look like? What do you want different parts of your life to look like? When you're feeling the shakiness or not feeling peace, what do you want? And most of the time, well, all of us have had disappointment in our life.
Right.
And so maybe I won't be disappointed if I don't want anything. But has that ever worked for you? It's
No.
never worked for me. That's never worked. As disappointment still occurs, even when I didn't say what I really wanted.
Mm.
And so the first step is what do I really want? And own it and begin to say what I want without knowing how I get there. That's the thing that really trips us up is what do you want the end to look like without knowing how you're arriving there yet? I'm a planner. Like I
Yeah.
am off the chart a planner. And I have jokingly said to God, okay, this is what I want. And in case you don't have a plan, here's how I think we could get there. Like I need to provide him with the plan. But there's twists and turns that we don't expect.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean that it can't work out for my good.
Yeah.
If anybody knows my story, they can check it out on my website. I've had trauma and things that have gone horribly wrong, but it has all worked out for my good.
Mm.
And so learning to be able to shift with what you want without letting go of the how and just allow, and then take action.
Mm.
What's one thing? This is not just wishing. This is writing down and dreaming and then taking action. What's one thing I could do to move forward? And someday that's getting up and taking a shower and maybe
Mhm.
doing a walk.
Yeah.
And some days it's doing bigger things. It's making phone calls or contacting someone you need to, etc. But it's just what is the one thing? Because a body in motion stays in motion.
That's
And so
right.
it's mind. But when I stay on the couch or scrolling through social media
Mm.
doing brainless stuff and I wish things would change, it doesn't change.
Does not. That's why I put that up there. When your focus is clear, the path becomes simple.
Yes.
So get off the couch. Listen, there's nothing wrong with sitting on the couch and maybe
Absolutely not.
unwinding, maybe a half hour, an hour,
Yes.
just letting things go and maybe being entertained by something. But it should not define your day, right? Um, we can even plan for that downtime. I think
Absolutely
because
should.
you're a planner, I'm a planner, right?
Yep.
I literally I plan when I'm going to be with my fiance because I have such a busy day. It's my You know what I named it? Focus time.
Yep.
I
Me
named
too.
it focus
I
time
think we
because
read the same book.
actually I didn't read that book, but I just decided that if I
Mhm.
want to build that relationship, I need to focus on that particular time. So that's why I named it
Yeah.
focus. I didn't read a book on it. And maybe I still need to read it, right? But for me, it was focus time that nothing else matters but
Yeah.
my time, because my time spending it with her lets her know how much I care about her, but also it gives me the energy, the time for
And the
me.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Everything's on my calendar. When I sit and read a book,
mhm,
when I'm going to take a nap,
yeah,
when I'm going to move and do a movement. I don't call it exercise, I call it moving.
I love it.
When I'm spending time with my husband doing the same thing, it's because then I know, and then I move things around. Surprise! I've had
Right,
surprises this week. I told you that.
right.
Surprise! We're doing things we weren't think we were going to do. So you move things around, but it gives you flexibility to be able to be present because you're a present and time
Mhm,
is a present and
mhm.
being present. There is nothing like being with someone and they're looking at their phone and not listening to anything you say.
Not worth it.
And it is, and you can feel it, whether they're actually on their phone or not. So I've been married a long time. I got lots of stories about that, but we'll let that go for now. But the other point to me is important for spiritual intelligence or even a healthy is stillness, is
Love
having
that.
those moments. Most of the time we think prayer is talking to God, which it is,
Mm,
but it's also listening.
mm.
And we miss that part. It's like if I was going to come and say all of this stuff to you and never listen to your reply, I'm just like, okay, that's everything on my mind. See ya.
Yeah.
Um, that's not a
Not a
conversation,
conversation. It was a
not a conversation.
it was more of a speech.
So stillness is like that. And it's adding that moment of time where you're blocking to actually sit and listen. Um, because quiet, most of us don't like it. I fought it, because it meant lazy for me growing up. Doing nothing was lazy. But I'm here to tell you, if you take nothing away from our conversation today, the biggest productivity thing you can do is stillness.
Oh, yeah. I love that. And that's why I also put down when your mind wanders, consistency becomes difficult. But sometimes when you meditate, it's okay to let your mind wander. It's
Yes.
okay to one of the things that I do is when I sit in stillness, I ask for solutions to
Hmm.
situations I may be having, to answers I don't know. Thank you, Dennis, right? Pray with a piece of paper and pen.
Absolutely.
Expect the answers and be prepared to write it down. I love that because we, when we are listening, we receive.
Absolutely.
But when we're talking, we get nothing in return
Yeah.
unless we're asking a question, but then we have to listen for the answer, right?
In my journal, I like to write in two different color pens. It's
Mm,
like, all right, I'm asking a question in blue, and then whatever I'm hearing from God, from my spirit, from intuition, and I write it in red or something like that. And so you begin to, and then you can always go back and look. This
mhm.
was, but it's all in the question.
Yeah.
Because the biggest part is the questions we ask frame what we already believe. I think I've said this to you before. If I go to my husband and say, does this dress make me look fat? There's no good response because apparently I think I look fat by my framing of my question. So it's all in how you ask the question is really important in those still times.
Yeah. And that's a question that you're going to give to someone where you know they're going to get in trouble no matter what.
I know. So how can I fail? I mean, what kind of question is that?
Mm.
So what if everything worked out right? What would I do?
Mm.
Is so much better question.
Yeah.
And so things like that. I love questions.
Gosh, yeah. It's very interesting. My fiance usually says to me, "How come you ask me a question with a you answer my questions with questions?" And I go, "Because I want to be clear." And she goes, "I hate when you do that."
Yeah.
And then so I go, "Why?" So there's a question. So it's important for us to be clear when we communicate, and that also, I believe, helps us with that spiritual intelligence that when we ask a question, when we're in prayer, when we're in meditation, and some people think that spiritual intelligence is on religious aspect, but it doesn't have to be, right? Because I know atheists who are incredible thinkers, who have spiritual intelligence because they're connecting with themselves. To me, I don't understand atheists, and I'm not putting them down. I just don't understand them because if you look around the world, how on earth does a frog become what it is? A snake, a rabbit, us, a tree, a plant, all of these things. Can science truly explain how these things came? Was it osmosis? Was it from an amoeba? Did we come from monkeys? I don't think so. Because if that was the case, there'd be no monkeys left,
That's right.
right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
spiritual intelligence is such a dynamic question that we have to ask: do we portray it?
And how can we grow in it?
Mm, yeah.
And then that's a great question is how can I grow? Because we are taught to live from our five senses. And this is going something beyond your five senses. And you can't do that without stillness or discovering what is there. So it's so much more because we're more than what I can see, touch and smell and all of those see and things like that. So we're more than that. And learning how to live that way is a empowering way to live. It is full of joy and hope,
Mhm.
no matter what. And it's vibrant living.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. Is that the name of your company?
I think it is.
I love it. Hey, Donna, I got to tell you, the more you and I have a conversation, the deeper I feel towards you. Much more love, much more gratitude for who you are, who you've become, and vibrant living is exactly what you're doing. And you talked about some challenges of this week, but you brought up that you're making it better no matter what happens in our life. And I believe that's where you truly are connected to your spiritual being, right? It's beautiful. So thank you for being you.
My pleasure. I'm learning how to do that more and more. Like you say, I'm great and getting better.
Yes, yes. Every day. I mean, listen, I don't want to be the same guy I was yesterday, for
Yeah.
sure. Because as much as I love him, I'm loving this guy more, and tomorrow's guy, forget about it.
Yep.
So,
It's in the past.
I think part of the emotional, spiritual, intellectual intelligence is connecting with us as well,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let me give you 30, 45 seconds. Tell us about your business. We have your website going across the bottom and how somebody can reach out to you and connect with you. And you can
Well,
help them live a vibrant, beautiful life.
yes. On my website, there is whatever events I'm hosting. And so the one that is coming up on Monday is a workshop called Uprooting the Imposter Syndrome. So you can
Mm,
step into divine confidence and authority. I work with leaders and aspiring leaders, helping them to accomplish the things that are in their heart from a place of grace and ease, letting go of stress and struggle and hard. There really is an easy button. And spiritual intelligence is one of the keys. And so there is a blog, my podcast is on my website, as well as a button to schedule if you want to have a conversation. And I am a girl who goes deep, no surface stuff. We're going to talk about what really matters. So I'd love to connect with you. And my YouTube channel is there too.
Nice. I love it. And I suggest everybody, I mean, everybody, go ahead and hit the button to have a conversation with Donna, because she does go deep, and she knows her stuff, people. So do me a favor, connect with Donna. She is an incredible human being. Donna, so grateful to know you. I am blessed. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sifu. Have a blessed day.
Yes, you too. Everybody, enjoy. Do me a favor, share this episode with everyone that you come across, because it's gonna make a difference for somebody. You never know who, but it will. Everybody have a beautiful rest of your day, Donna. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.